training. And so we organized the first ever career fair at Chuka University. And what has turned into in that institution as an annual Chuka University Career Fair and Human Rights Week. But having graduated and gone outside the space to seek employment and, inclusive opportunities for ourselves, we had still more concerns from our colleagues, our friends, students that we left in universities as student leaders, reaching out to us, whether we could find meaningful opportunity for them, or whether we could link them to job opportunities, and whether we could make it possible for them just to have an area to earn a living. And so we kept on organizing informal events, informal meetings, but we realized that we needed to be more structured, to have partnerships, more structured to engage in a better way with institutions, and so the brand Corporate Career Academy, whose main concern is to link training to industry. What we've always talked as from learning to earning, because that is the essence of going to school. That is the essence of acquiring a skill so that you can use your skill. We could talk about impact, talk about transformation, talk about all that. But the final thing, where the rubber meets the road, is that somebody that has spent money in training or acquiring skills has to be compensated for their professional and technical work. And so we've been doing this with many universities, many colleges, I would say over 50 institutions in Kenya and East Africa. And last year, we had a platform to recognize our partners, students, and people facilitating employment and transition into work, what we called the first Uongozi Career Awards, hosted at the University of Nairobi, I think on the 21st of December last year. And so over time, we've been thinking of how to deepen the conversation, make stakeholders engaged, and have more hands on the deck to transform what we see as the biggest crisis of the region and the African continent. And that is employment, which is deeply, deeply informed by employability skills. And so the first East African employability skills is responding to a study 10 years ago by the Inter-University Council for East Africa Education, which discovered that about 50+% of graduates and students emerging from institutions were not job ready or market ready. And the World Bank Enterprise Survey has talked to these facts. KEPSA and other private sector players have talked to these facts. And it's a conversation that stakeholders must be alive to. And so DG, and on behalf of the Ministry of Education, thank you for showing up. We know that the conversation has come to TVETs, but the universities are still critical in equipping our next generation of leaders. Out of school employment initiatives are still critical in that formation. And so without much ado, without taking the credit to the Corporate Career Academy, I must thank the Catholic University of Eastern Africa for accepting to host this very first conversation, which we hope to be an annual conversation across the 7 East African member states. Please, on behalf of myself, on behalf of all of us, on behalf of all the partners, let us clap for the Catholic University. And so as I sit down, I want to encourage us with these words. There is no better time to start than when you actually begin. And the beginning is today. We've started the conversation. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for accepting to be part of this. Sister Rose, the Director Career Services at Queer, thank you for the fantastic job. This is part of the key collaboration that we've had with the Office of the Vice Chancellor, and the Office of the DVC Academic Affairs. I must mention, as I exit the stage, I hope that we will take this opportunity to network, to challenge each other, to cross-pollinate the ideas that we all have in our unique settings, in our universities, in our colleges, in our out-of-school initiatives, and make it a snowballing conversation across East Africa. And let our voices be heard that this is the time to think about employability skills. This is the time to churn out people that are work ready. This is the time to fight the dragon on East Africa and Africa's unemployment rate through transforming skills and equipping our curriculums and ensuring that everybody that goes into an institution or that goes into an informal learning environment emerges or comes out of those institutions ready to work and ready to transform the great continent of Africa. Many thanks once again. Allow me to exit now and hand it over back to Archie. Thank you once again, and please DG express our gratitude and reserved gratitude to the minister. We know the very reason that is not here, which I know you will communicate. Thank him on our behalf and thank the ministry and all stakeholders involved. Once again, very good.
All right. Thank you very much. I think, somebody to have thought about this 10 years on and actually actualizing a dream makes all of us think in our seats, what can I do for Kenya? What can I do for my respective country? What can I do for Africa? So many, many congratulations to Mr. Philip Pande. We celebrate you and we acknowledge that this is a dream, and we will work with you to ensure that we make our students, our lecturers, Dr. Kip Kirui Laga. Let's have a round of applause as he takes the stage.
as leaders think seriously. More than 50% of those who are graduating from various training institutions lack the prerequisites, skills that will make them be productive in the world of work. And that is something that is a huge critical and I know we've just been discussing with the ambassador, and we know everyone still wants to go to the university. But the reality is, where are the jobs? So career services will be very critical in redirecting our young people to start focusing on careers where they will be getting jobs. The reality is, for every one student we have in university, we need about 5 students in Tibet. This is to ensure that we balance the required human resource to drive our economy. And therefore, if we are pushing everyone to university, we'll be lacking the people that will be driving the wheel for the socio-economic development that will bring prosperity to all of us. So those of you who are going to be in career services, really strive towards making this understood by everyone who is aspiring to build a career. Currently, we have close to 600,000 students in our universities, an equivalent number in our TVET institutions. So you find that the ratio is about 1 to 1 instead of 1 to 5. And that is why we have that high rate of unemployment, which is close to 17% currently in the country. It is because we have not been able to redirect our young people to careers where they can easily secure opportunities. And therefore, I want to urge the team that are behind this very important summit to look at some of this and make it sure that it is part of the output of this conference to really identify those opportunities that are likely to give ready-made jobs to our young people. With those remarks, allow me therefore to read the speech of the chief guest. The Inter-University Council for East Africa, EAC Secretariat, Cabinet Secretaries and Ministers present, Diplomatic Corps and Development Partners present, Commission for University, Vice Chancellors present today, other government institutions that are represented here, principals of our colleges, registrars of our institutions, corporate partners, East African students and young people present today, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am deeply pleased and honored to join you today at the grand opening of the East African Employability Summit and the prestigious second Uongozi Career Awards 2023. This momentous gathering marked a significant milestone, a collective commitment to shaping a future where innovation, empowerment and opportunity converge within East African professional landscape. Before I delve into the fundamental issues of the day, let me make this earliest opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my colleague ministers from the region and fellow cabinet secretaries of the Kenya side for prioritizing this event as an important undertaking. It is also my singular honor to welcome all the delegates from the East African community and our partners who have chosen to attend this rewarding, fulfilling event. In the same breath, I'm exceptionally proud of the conveners of this historic initiative, the Corporate Career Academy. Our presence here today has made it possible to the devotion of our team of young people running the academy. Ladies and gentlemen, for nearly a decade, the Corporate Career Academy has concerned itself with the processing needs to improve the transition from academy to industry among the East African community graduates. The formidable team has committed over 10,000 persons hours to organizing career fairs across over 45 higher institutions of learning, reaching over 300,000 students. They have facilitated access to mentors and subject matter experts, built capacities of student leaders and officers of career services, and linked thousands of young people to internship and entry-level job opportunities. It is in my interest to reiterate that the efforts of the CCA, the Catholic University, and other partners are a demonstration of commitment of serving humanity. The agenda before us on employability skills is an epic one. It is, in this pursuit, my ministry has allocated Kenya shillings 1.5 billion in national spending this year to promote youth employability skills. A further Kenya shillings 920 million has been availed to the TVET subsector to foster entrepreneurship. This is just but a prelude. I will demonstrate more government commitment focusing on building from the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, our convergence today is a significant moment, an interlude to press, pause, and reflect on the gaps that gains we have encountered in our quest to train East African labor force to respond to the industry needs. It is a moment to aggregate the unsung efforts of stakeholders who have bestowed upon themselves the weighty responsibility to complement the efforts of our universities and TVET institutions to skill our youth for the regions and East African industrial revolution. This summit is a rare opportunity to evaluate the net effect of our strategic interventions we have invested to make our education sector responsive to the present and future workplace demands. Ladies and gentlemen, I am compelled to remind the community of the wide gap in employability skills. Well, 10 years ago, the deficiency among fresh graduates stood at an adverse of 50+%. The situation is yet to be contained on an absolute scale. Industry feedback still points to a mismatch between the levels of work readiness among young job seekers and employer demand. This is more to be done, or there is more to be done, not just by academic, but all sectors combined. In the efforts to overcome skills gap and youth unemployment, the Ministry of Education has been spearheading sector-wide reforms as recommended by the CPC Task Force reports and Presidential Working Party on Education Reform. The policy shifts have been guided, or have guided the effective implementation of CPC in the country with a standing enrollment of 1.137 or 1,137,179 in the junior schools by January 2023, attracting about Kenya shillings 25 billion in government capitation. The net effect of this paradigm shift is curriculum is that the Kenya youth will be adequately equipped with the diverse competencies and skills for the world of work and the economic value chain regardless of the stage where they exit schooling. To bolster the transition to post-secondary education, the government has restructured the higher education's funding model and introduced a more holistic alternative. The Kenya Universities Fund Board, now in place, portends unlimited opportunities. It focuses on the specific resource needs to train and adequately equip learners, effectively curing any potential gaps in training force by limited capitation for courses. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Ruto, is enthusiastic about remodeling the TVET education. In his view, in which we subscribe and implement, the silver bullet in dealing with the holistic demands for first-place labor is the expansion of skilling and equipping opportunities in the TVET subsector. Living this vision, on the 29th day of August 2023, the Cabinet approved upgrading of 13 technical and vocational colleges to national polytechnic status. Our overarching call